Hey my loved ones, welcome back to my channel. So today I have another video for my palette collection series. So today's brand is Morphe. I have a lot of Morphe palettes. I think I have almost all of them. No I don't. I don't almost have all of them. But I'm trying to get all of them, okay? There's one of them that I really wanted that came out during Christmas time. I think it's the A9 or something like that. I don't know. But the one that had the big pans in it, and it had a whole bunch of transitional colors in the middle, and it was pretty big. I really want that palette so bad, and I am not paying $100 on Amazon for no damn Morphe palette. Okay, so Morphe is a very affordable brand, and I absolutely love Morphe eyeshadows. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started with this video. So first we have I'm gonna go ahead with the small palettes. So this first palette I purchased from Ulta for $12. This one is the 9A. I haven't used this palette yet, but this is a beautiful neutral tone palette, which I can't wait to use. So I think I'm going to try to use a lot of palettes in the next couple of tutorials that I do. And I will leave a playlist down below for my palette collections down below, because I have so many palettes. I just can't put all my palettes in one video. I can't. Okay, so I'm doing them by brand. Okay, so I want you guys to check out every single last video. And like I said, this is the 9A. Very beautiful palette. I purchased this from Ulta for $12. Okay, so the next palette that I have is the Morphe 12P. And this one is the Bright Beautiful palette. I did do a makeup tutorial on this one. I think it's the tutorial I did was the brand new Instagram logo palette. The Instagram logo makeup tutorial. I use this palette for that look, and this one has beautiful bright colors. Reminds me of the Coastal Scents Creative Me palette, and this is what it looks like. The next palette is the Morphe 12Z. And these are the small palettes, so I decided to do those first. And this one has a lot of smoky colors in this palette. Very pretty, as you can see. And this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 shimmer and only 2 matte in this palette. Haven't even used this palette yet, but I will sooner or later. Okay, so that is the 12Z. Okay, the next palette is the 9C. I also purchased this one Ulta. No, I ordered this one online. This is the contour highlight palette. Really never used it because the contour color is too light. There's only one shimmery highlight color, and the other colors are matte. So I think you can use those colors to set your concealer, but I haven't used this palette at all. I purchased it. No, matter of fact, I think I redeemed points off of Morphe Me for this palette. Yeah, that's what I did. Okay, I thought the contour color was going to be darker, but it wasn't. So this is the palette, and this is the 9C. Okay, so now we're on to the bigger palettes. Okay, so this first palette is the 350S palette. And this is what it looks like. And this is kind of like the 350 palette, but the shimmery edition. So this is what it looks like. Very pretty. And I really don't wear shimmer shadows that much, but I probably need to start because I have so many shimmery eyeshadows that I don't know. The problem with me with the shimmer eyeshadows is, you see I have a puffy puffy hooded lid. So when I put the shimmery eyeshadows, it just don't look right. That's why I can't even do a cut crease, because my hooded lid is so puffy. So if I wish I could find a way to where I can't make that damn hooded lid so puffy. I'll figure it out. Maybe I need to get that cream, you know, where they eliminate the dark circles and the excess fat under the eye. Maybe I need to get that for my eyelid. But anywho, this is the 350S palette. Okay, so I'm not going in any particular order on which palette I like the best. I love all Morphe palettes. So this is the next palette, which is the Jaclyn Hill palette by Morphe, which I really, really like. I have used this palette a couple of times. It looks like this. It has a lot of warm tones in this palette, plus a pop of color. So this is the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. Okay, I'm just going to try to whiz through this video because I don't want it to be too long. This one is the 350M palette. So this one is like the 350 palette, but all matte shades. And this is what it looks like. And I purchased the shimmer, this one, the 350M palette, as well as the 350S palette as a bundle. This is what it looks like. Very beautiful, very warm. Okay, so the next palette is the 35T palette, which is taupe colors. And it looks like this. It has a variety of shimmer as well as matte colors. Okay, I haven't used this palette either. Not yet. The next one is the 35N palette, which looks like this. Every single color in this palette is mattes. And in this palette you get like two blacks up in here because they look the same to me. Haven't even used this palette yet either. I'm just keeping it real. Haven't used it yet. What's wrong, baby? Okay, so the next one is the 3502 palette. This one in the Jaclyn Hill palette is, I could say, is my favorite. Okay, so this one I absolutely love. I mean, you get these beautiful bright oranges. You get all these warm colors in here. You get this beautiful black, which is called Wiz, up in there. And I really, really do love this palette. I think I did like 2 makeup tutorials using this palette. I absolutely love all of the oranges in this palette. So this is the 3502 palette. And this is the only palette that has the name on the eyeshadow. The next palette is the 35P palette, which is the purple palette, and it looks like this. Haven't used this palette either. Very pretty. I really love the pretty purples in this palette. Okay, so that is the 35P palette. This next one is the 350 palette, which is very popular. And I redeemed points on Morphe Me to get this palette because Morphe website was sold out of this palette for a long time when I was trying to get it. But Morphe Me had it once you redeem 2,500 points. So that is how I got this palette, which is very, very pretty, which started the whole warm palette collection by Morphe, is the 350 palette. Stop, Sunday. You see I'm recording. Okay, so the next palette is the 35R palette, Ooh, this one is gorgeous. I purchased this from Ulta. And look at how beautiful this palette is. It has so many golds in this palette. I really, really like this palette. I haven't even touched this palette. Haven't swatched. Haven't did nothing to this palette yet. So this is the 35R. The next one is the 35C palette, which is so beautiful and so colorful. Look at that palette right there. Look at them colors. And every single color in this palette is matte. This is the 35C palette. I think the C stands for color, because this one has a lot of beautiful colors in there. Look at that purple right there. Look at that pinkish purple right there. Look at that red though. Look at that colors. I can't believe I haven't used this palette yet. Why haven't I used this palette yet? I'm trying to see what I could do with this palette, because ooh, that olive green is beautiful. What number is this? 35C? Yeah, 35C. So it is so beautiful. And so all the palettes, I labeled them on the side like this, because I have them stacked on the shelf like this, so I would know which palette I want to use. But I know the next tutorial I'm going to use is 35C palette. I know that much. So I did that to all of my Morphe palettes, so when I stack it on the shelf, I know which palette I'm reaching for. So this is the 35C palette. Lovely. And this is my favorite palette. This one, the 3502, and the Jaclyn Hill palette is my favorite. Yeah. So this is the 35B palette, which is also a colorful palette, but all of the colors is not matte in this palette. So I have a couple of these because I purchased this palette as well as the 3502 palette for my makeup classes. So I have like 10 of each of these. Okay, 10 of each of these and 10 of the 3502. Okay, so this is the 35B palette, which is so pretty. Sunday. Okay, so that is the palette. Very beautiful. Okay, so that is my Morphe palette collection, you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to check out the other palettes that I already did a video on. I will leave the playlist down below. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to please rate, comment, and subscribe. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.